Hi, my name is Caroline, and my project is in regards to the effects that the light spectrum has on sunflower growth. So plants do require specific conditions to allow them to grow to their greatest capacity, and one of these conditions is the UV light spectrum. The plants use their photoreceptors to absorb the light and convert it into energy that can be used for photosynthetic processes. My hypothesis is that the visible light spectrum consists of colors with various wavelengths that can be seen by the naked eye. The chlorophyll found in plant cells will absorb the individual colors of the light spectrum differently based on the wavelength of each specific color, and this absorption will affect the growth of the sunflower plants. And then my prediction is the sunflower seed that is placed under the red light will grow larger than the ones under the blue, green, or yellow lights. So the reason that this is my prediction is because the red wavelengths are between 620 and 750 nanometers, and it has been found that these are the most readily absorbed wavelengths by plants. And it has also been found that the reason that plants actually have their green color is because the green wavelengths are the least absorbed by plants, and they're actually reflected by the photoreceptors, and this is why we see plants with a green color. So I'm assuming that the plant grown under the green bulb is going to be the shortest. These are my methods. I will be using 5 sunflower seeds, and they will each be planted into separate ceramic pots with indoor potting mix. So this is a pretty cheap experiment, and the reason that I am using sunflowers is because they are pretty inexpensive and they are a short season plant, so they'll grow quite quickly, and they are not limited to specific regions around the world. So I can grow them in Clovis or I can grow them in Argentina, and they'll be fine. So some independent variables of the experiment will be the height of the plant over time, the size of the leaves over time, and the health of the overall flower. And my independent variables are the spectrum of light on each plant, the growth environment, which is the box, the type of plant, which is the sunflower, and the amount of water that they are receiving. Some confounding variables are temperature, because while I can try and keep the environment around the 25 degrees Celsius that sunflowers prefer, 12 weeks is a decent amount of time, and it'll be hard to keep that 100% consistent. And potential unaccounted for nutrients that may enter their system, even though I will be using distilled water. So each plant will be watered once a day, and they will be watered with distilled water. And the study will last 12 weeks, and data will be collected once a week, and I will be measuring the height of the plants every week. So this is my data table. It lasts for 12 weeks, and it's divided by the 5 colors that I'll be using. So a red bulb, a blue bulb, a yellow bulb, a green bulb, and a full spectrum bulb. And these are the results that would support my hypothesis. So you can see that the red flower grows almost as tall as the full spectrum flower, but not quite. And then you can see that the flower grown under the green bulb, is actually the shortest, which is assumed because plants have been found to reflect green wavelengths. This is the bar graph that I made in Excel, and you can see the gradual increase of the growth in flowers, and you can see that the red and the full spectrum flower are the tallest, and the green flower, the flower grown under the green bulb, is the shortest. This is my ANOVA test, and you can see that the red flower has the closest mean to the full spectrum flower, indicating that they had the most similar growth patterns. And then my results indicate a degree of freedom of 59, which means that there is great variance between the samples, and I will be able to find some significant results. So this is my discussion that I just kind of summarized, but basically, this study I'm going to read you a couple of notes that I wrote. This study will highlight the significance of UV radiation and wavelengths absorption in plants, as well as the effects of the full light spectrum on plant growth. The results will indicate which individual color of the full light spectrum will promote photosynthetic processes at the most efficient and highest level. The mean that it has the closest height to the full spectrum flower after the 12 weeks will be the one that was grown with the most efficient light source. So assuming that my hypothesis is supported and the sunflower grown under the red light bulb provides data that indicates the greatest amount of growth in comparison to the 3 other bulbs, this will indicate that the red light contributes to the greatest growth in plants, and it's the most easily absorbed range of wavelengths. Um, Previous studies have shown that red light contributes to the buildup of carbohydrates on plant leaves. As we know, carbohydrates are a great source of energy, and these carbohydrates that are built up on the leaves can be converted into energy for growing purposes. This contributes to the hypothesis by providing the evidence that red light is the greatest contributor of energy for plants. The findings in this proposal could help with the development of indoor agriculture, because we never know what's going to happen. We might have to start farming inside someday. We never know. And studies like this will help farmers and scientists make decisions on the type of growth environment. And on the other hand, assuming that my hypothesis is not supported and the data does not support that the flower grown under the red bulb will be the tallest plant, scientists will actually have to go back in decades of research and studies and redetermine the effects of the photoreceptor light absorption on plant growth. So let's just say that the plant grown under the green light came out to be the tallest. We'd have to go back into studies of wavelengths and photoreceptor absorption and chlorophyll absorption and figure out why plants actually give off their green color, because as of right now, green is the least absorbed color, and it's actually reflected, and that's what gives plants their green colors. So if that flower ended up being the tallest, we would have to wonder, why are plants green? So this purpose of this study is to reinforce the knowledge of spectral absorbance and to determine which individual color of UV light will result in the greatest amount of growth in plants, specifically sunflowers. Thank you!